Hey everyone. Today I'm excited to share a deeply inspiring story that's bound to resonate with many. Let's dive into the life of Isolde Winters, a talented artist who encountered numerous obstacles, culminating in a near-death experience during a particularly tough period. What she encountered on the other side might just change your perspective on life, death, and even the figure of Mary, the mother of Jesus. You won't believe what she discovered about Mary. It's truly astonishing. Before we jump in, do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to stay updated on our content, and ring that notification bell. You wouldn't want to miss out on anything this exciting. Now let's get into Isolde's journey. At 35, she's carved out a life filled with creativity, but also marred by challenges. Growing up, art wasn't just a hobby, it was her refuge. It was her voice when the complexities of life felt overwhelming. She thought Riverstone, California, with its artistic vibe, would be the perfect backdrop for her life. But as we all know, life has a funny way of throwing curveballs. A few years back, Isolde faced the heartbreak of a tough divorce that turned her world upside down. Suddenly, she was a single mother, navigating the responsibilities of raising two amazing kids, while dealing with an avalanche of emotional and financial stress. Each day twisted into a battle, not just to manage the bills piling up, but also against the insecurities and fears that came creeping in during sleepless nights. As if that weren't enough to bear, her health took a nosedive. An autoimmune syndrome seized her strength, leading to days filled with fatigue, pain, and frustrations. It felt like she was constantly fighting against the current, desperately trying to stay afloat. Redemption through art seemed out of reach as her creativity began to dwindle. How could she channel beauty onto the canvas when even the simplest brushstroke felt like an uphill struggle? Her once vibrant paintings darkened, mirroring her internal battles. Isolde endeavored to remain a pillar of strength for her children, her shining light and motivation. However, when night fell and they drifted into sleep, she let the walls come down. In those quiet moments, tears would flow as she wondered if brighter days were on the horizon, and if she could summon the strength to overcome it all. Amid a whirlwind of challenges, there came a night that forever altered my understanding of life, death, and everything in between. It was an experience that would prompt me to rethink what I believed about reality and my role in it. This is the tale of my journey beyond existence, a near-death adventure that reshaped not just who I am, but how I perceive the world. On what seemed like an ordinary evening, after tucking the kids into bed, exhaustion washed over me. Just as I was about to settle down myself, I felt that all too familiar tightening in my chest. Asthma had been a part of my life for years, but this time it was different. The sensation of suffocation felt far more intense and terrifying than before. I reached for my inhaler, expecting relief, but nothing happened. Panic took hold as my attempts to breathe became a struggle, one I felt I was losing. With my hands shaking, I somehow managed to dial 911. The wait for help felt endless. By the time the paramedics arrived, despair was creeping in. They administered oxygen, which offered a fleeting moment of respite, but it didn't last. Once at the hospital, chaos unfolded around me. Medical staff raced about, their worried voices and tense faces blending into a blur. Despite their best efforts, nothing seemed to ease the suffocating grasp I was in. As each moment passed, the feeling worsened. My chest felt like it was on fire, and the edges of my vision began to fade. I was enveloped by fear. Was this how my story would end? Leaving my children behind with unfulfilled dreams and so much left to say. Amid this turmoil, a comforting memory surfaced. Clara, my grandmother. She had been my rock, and although she had left this world years ago, I often found myself wishing for just one more conversation with her. Her welcoming hugs and wise counsel were something I yearned for in times of darkness. Unable to voice my thoughts or even think clearly, I silently begged, "Grandma, please help me. I'm not ready to leave. My kids need me. Don't let this be the end." Then in the midst of the hospital flurry, something remarkable occurred. A gentle shift in the atmosphere caught my attention. A wave of tranquility washed over me, wrapping around me like a warm blanket. And then, without seeing her with my eyes, I felt her presence. It was a vision far beyond any explanation I could muster. Isolde Winters stood there, her warm smile wrapping around me like a familiar blanket. Though she didn't utter a word, her presence alone brought a wave of comfort that felt almost protective. In that instant, I could feel a shift within myself. The overwhelming dread of dying, which had gripped me just moments earlier, started to fade away. I still struggled to breathe, my body feeling heavy and tight, yet a profound sense of peace settled within me. This was the start of an unexpected adventure, one that would transform everything I previously believed about living, dying, and what might await beyond our realm. With Isolde beside me, I found myself enveloped in a gentle white mist that seemed to absorb all heaviness from the hospital room. The often jarring sounds and glaring lights began to blur and recede, like lifting a curtain to unveil a hidden reality, one that typically eludes our sight. The suffocating sensation that had tormented me moments before vanished entirely. For the first time in what felt like ages, I was free of both pain and fear. Instead, I experienced a lightness and freedom that was utterly unlike anything I had known. Glancing toward Isolde, I noticed her smile once more. Her eyes sparkled with a love that felt so expansive, it transcended my understanding. She reached out her hand, and upon touching it, an overwhelming sense of clarity washed over me. Words became unnecessary. Her feelings and thoughts flowed into me as if they were my own. "No need to be scared, dear," her voice resonated in my mind. "You're in a safe place now. There's so much for you to explore and comprehend." As we moved through the mist, I began to sense that we were embarking on a journey. It wasn't our physical selves that traveled, but something much lighter, an essence of pure awareness. It felt like we were gliding through dimensions I had never even imagined. The colors around us morphed into a vivid tapestry, richer and more vibrant than any palette on Earth. Deep azure blues intertwined with brilliant golds, creating intricate designs that seemed to hold entire worlds within them. An energy enveloped me, like the air itself was alive, filled with an exhilarating pulse. Every speck of this new reality emitted a silent song, a cosmic symphony of indescribable beauty. As we pressed on, I began to perceive other entities nearby, not quite solid but full of presence, radiating warmth and familiarity, inviting us deeper into this enchanting experience. In the midst of this incredible brightness, everything looked different, more like vibrant streams of energy and light than the usual surroundings. Some of these glimmers felt familiar. They were the spirits of those I had loved and lost. Others, though entirely new to me, sparked a surprising sense of familiarity, as if we were bound by an invisible thread in a vast cosmic family. Time, in this extraordinary space, felt irrelevant. I honestly couldn't tell how long we'd been away from the hospital, but it didn't matter. Every second, or perhaps it was an eternity, was rich with meaning and insights that felt far beyond my earthly understanding. My grandmother was by my side, guiding me along this journey. She seemed to have an innate understanding of when I needed to pause and reflect, and when I was ready to embrace the next wonder before me. That realization washed over me. This was not just an ending. The experience didn't match any of my previous notions of death. Instead, I was awakening to something much greater, a profound broadening of awareness, unlike anything I'd felt before. Deep down, I sensed that this was merely the start of a truly incredible journey. As I drifted in this vibrant realm filled with colors and light, my grandmother's warm presence surrounding me, a change began to take shape. A light appeared, more brilliant and purer than I had ever encountered. It felt as if love itself was materializing before us, radiating waves of energy that made every part of me resonate with newfound vibrancy. From within this light, a figure began to materialize. I recognized her instantly, but she didn't resemble the images I had known. It was Mary, the mother of Jesus, but in a form that transcended the typical portrayals. She embodied pure love and energy, radiating such a gentle yet potent presence that I felt completely wrapped in her compassion. Her eyes, if I could even describe them as such, were like portals to infinity. Inside them, I glimpsed galaxies swirling and lives being created and transformed. Her smile felt like a warm cosmic embrace, instilling a sense of acceptance and love that was utterly transformative. When she communicated, it wasn't through words, but rather an unspoken flow of thoughts and feelings that resonated deeply within me. "Welcome, cherished beloved," her essence seemed to convey. You stand at a pivotal point in your journey. There is so much awaiting your discovery and understanding. I was engulfed in her wisdom and the overwhelming love radiating from her presence. Even without a physical form to express it, tears of pure joy and gratitude cascaded down as I absorbed this incredible moment. Why me, though? I finally found the courage to ask, my inner voice shaking with emotion. I'm nothing special, just a struggling mother, an artist who hasn't quite made it. Isolde's smile was warm, and in it, I felt the collective love of mothers everywhere. Sweetheart, she replied, everyone is special in their own way. Each person is a rare and beautiful reflection of the divine. Your struggles and your joys, they all contribute to who you are, and they are cherished without conditions. Her words reached deep within me, mending wounds I hadn't even realized I carried. Years of inadequacy began to fade under the warmth of her unwavering love. You're here for a reason, Isolde said, her voice gentle yet firm. It's time for you to realize your true essence. You're so much more than just your physical body or the situations you face. You're a creator of the universe, a manifestation of universal consciousness. As she spoke, it felt like layers of haze were being peeled away from my mind. I started to see links I had overlooked, to grasp truths that had always been there, hidden from my vision. Always remember, Isolde, she affirmed, wrapping her love around me like a comforting blanket of light. You are never truly alone. Divine love is within you and all around you. You are loved immeasurably, just as you are. At that moment, I felt a significant shift happening inside me. It was as if every fiber of my being were being drenched in radiant light, tuned to a higher level of existence. Something greater was on the horizon, something that would profoundly reshape my perception of reality. Still basking in Isolde's loving energy, another force began to emerge. It was powerful and noble, exuding a sense of strength and safety. Suddenly, a figure appeared beside me, and I instantly recognized him, Archangel Michael. Describing his form in human terms was a challenge. He radiated like a living flame, a blend of energies creating a presence that felt almost tangible. His wings flowed like rivers of light, stretching into the vast unknown. His eyes sparkled like ancient stars, holding the wisdom of ages. When he spoke, his voice didn't just echo in my head, it reverberated through my entire being, making every atom in me resonate with his words. Isolde, he began, his tone a harmonious mix of power and compassion. Imagine a scene filled with both thunder and beautiful celestial music. A presence loomed large before me, and I realized that I had arrived at a pivotal point in my journey. There was something significant about to be revealed, a calling that would soon unfold. As I stood there, I felt a mix of smallness and immense honor, like I was wrapped in a warm shield of protection. Every word that flowed from him felt like it carried a powerful truth, resonating deep within. He began, everything you've gone through in life, the struggles, the challenges, has been like a preparation ground. Each instance of pain, every moment of uncertainty, has shaped you with the strength and empathy needed to discover your purpose. While he spoke, my mind wandered through vivid memories of my past. I recalled the separation from my partner, the ongoing fight with my illness, and the times when I was just too overwhelmed to continue. Yet with this fresh perspective, those memories transformed before my eyes. They morphed from simple hardships into valuable lessons, grooming me for something greater ahead. Tentatively, I found the courage to ask, what is this purpose? My heart raced with a mix of anxiety and excitement. His smile was radiant, lighting up everything around him. Isolde, he said gently, your calling is to shine brightly for others. It's about sharing your journey, your art, and your newfound insights to guide those who find themselves lost in the shadows. You'll come to realize that the reality you perceive is just a tiny glimpse of the vastness that exists. Your role will be to help others broaden their awareness and reconnect with their true divine essence. As those words settled over me, clarity washed through me. It felt like pieces of a cosmic puzzle were clicking into place. Those past challenges, all the pains I endured, started to reveal their significance. But how can I possibly take on such a monumental task? I asked, a mix of exhilaration and trepidation bubbling in my chest. Through your art, Isolde, he answered, his tone brimming with assurance. Your creativity is a divine blessing, a medium to express the universe's truths in ways that resonate with others. Every brushstroke, every hue you choose, is a chance to awaken spirits and touch hearts on a deeper level. He paused, giving me a moment to take it all in before adding, "And remember, you won't be carrying this responsibility alone. We will always be by your side, offering guidance, inspiration, and protection. You're part of something much bigger than you know." "Isolde," he said, a calm authority in his tone. "It's time to acknowledge your true self and the strength that comes with it." Suddenly, it felt like a curtain had been pulled back. Gone was the image of a fractured soul, barely getting by. Instead, I could see myself as a powerful entity, capable of creation and transformation. This realization was heavy, but also felt so liberating. Then Michael reached out, his hand, or what looked like a hand made of pure light. "Join me," he urged gently. "There's so much more waiting for you. Are you prepared for a journey that will reshape everything you think you understand about reality?" I could hardly contain my excitement and wonder as I nodded, ready to take this next step into a world beyond what I knew. As I embraced Michael's invitation, a powerful energy wrapped around me. It was like every part of my being was lifted into a higher state of existence. We began to glide through a luminous tunnel where colors danced between orange and gold, forming mesmerizing patterns rich with entire universes. "What's ahead for you, Isolde?" he said, his voice echoing within the light, "is a profound shift in how you perceive everything. You will rise above the confines of the physical world to truly grasp the essence of reality." While we traveled along this cosmic path, my senses heightened. It felt as if I were awakening to a broader perception, unveiling dimensions previously hidden from me. I caught glimpses of worlds layered like a tapestry over our own, a multitude of timelines where alternate versions of myself had made different decisions. In a moment of clarity, the vastness and intricacy of the universe dawned on me. "Look there, Isolde," Michael said, gesturing toward an elaborate cosmic web. "This is the tapestry of life. Each thread signifies a soul, and every intersection marks a moment of choice or connection. Everything is linked. Nothing exists in isolation." I gazed in wonder as I spotted my own lifeline weaving in and out with countless others, forming patterns of indescribable beauty. It became clear how my actions, no matter how small, echoed far beyond what I ever imagined. "Isn't it interesting," I mused, "that even though everything is interconnected, we still often feel so isolated here in the physical world?" Michael nodded, a kind smile gracing his lips. "That perception of isolation is what we call the illusion of separation, Isolde. You're experiencing this individuality as part of your journey towards spiritual growth. However, the reality is that you're never actually alone. Every thought and every action sends ripples through this vast cosmic web, influencing everything around you." As we made our way forward, Michael began to pull back the curtain on my own life experiences. I found myself transported back to my childhood, filled with pure joy and boundless imagination. I also revisited those harder times, moments of pain and struggle, but they felt different now, seen from a brand new angle. "Take a closer look," he said gently, "and notice how each experience has contributed to who you are today." I understood. The difficult chapters, like my divorce, which had been so heartbreaking, were all lessons in resilience and strength. My battles with illness, those had deepened my empathy for others. Every tough moment and every challenge I overcame had played a part in my spiritual evolution. "Can you see it now?" Michael's voice was soft yet powerful. "There's really no such thing as good or bad experiences. They are simply experiences, and how you respond to them is entirely up to you. Any limitations you feel, Isolde, are self-imposed, stemming from misunderstandings and unresolved traumas." A wave of clarity washed over me. All those times I had felt like I wasn't enough, all the shame that crept in, all the moments I nearly gave up, all of those feelings were built on a narrow view of who I truly am. "You transcend your physical form," Michael continued. "You're far more than just your thoughts and feelings. You are an extraordinary embodiment of divine consciousness, bursting with unlimited potential for creation and transformation." As these revelations sank in, I felt an internal shift, an expansion within me. It was as if layers of limitation were being pulled back, uncovering a radiant core of light and untold power. "Recognize this essence, Isolde," Michael said, his voice radiating warmth and respect. This is the divine being you've always been and will eternally remain. It's time to accept this truth and let it guide your life. In that moment, I experienced a profound transformation. I was no longer just Isolde, the artist trying to make it through. I had become a co-creator of my universe, a one-of-a-kind and treasured expression of the divine. With this newfound awareness came a sense of incredible liberation. In that moment, everything shifted for me. Are you prepared to take the next leap in your journey? Isolde heard Michael ask, his presence radiating a brightness that felt like it was pulling in the universe's secrets. Filled with gratitude and a newfound awareness, she nodded, ready to delve deeper into the enigma of existence and her inner self. As Michael guided her, a sensation of being lifted to a higher consciousness washed over her. The light surrounding them grew more intense, wrapping them in a warm embrace of vibrant energy. It felt like they were moving closer to the very pulse of the cosmos. "What lies ahead for you, Isolde?" he explained, each word vibrating within her, is a connection with the source. You will come to grasp the essence of God and your own divine nature. Before she could fully digest his insight, Isolde felt a gentle push forward, propelling her into a brilliant ocean of light. The instant she bridged contact with this luminosity, everything changed. It was as if her very being expanded outward, enveloping the universe. She was connected to everything. She felt the rhythm of galaxies, the cycles of stars being born and dying, and the breath of life infused in every corner of existence. Simultaneously, the tiniest particles danced in her awareness, showcasing the essence of creation in its purest form. And through it all, love flowed, a profound, expansive, and unconditional force that brought her sheer bliss. In this complete union, the essence of God revealed itself. Rather than being a distant figure on a heavenly throne, God existed in every aspect of creation, the totality of life and consciousness enveloping all. Isolde realized that she was a distinct expression of this divine essence, just like all other beings in the universe. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she embraced this deep revelation. For so long, she had searched for something beyond her, reaching for an external savior, a guiding love. Now it was clear that what she truly sought had always resided within her, a natural part of her identity. In this space of oneness, all her uncertainties, doubts, and fears became irrelevant. All the fears and limitations I had ever known began to melt away. In that moment, I recognized my true self, a being filled with infinite light and boundless potential for creativity and transformation. It became clear to me that this sense of unity wasn't just for mystical experiences or a state to be found only after death. No, it was part of our natural existence, our genuine essence. The sense of separation we often feel in the physical world is merely an illusion, a hidden game we play with ourselves. As I floated in this vast sea of divine consciousness, I was flooded with insights and understanding, transcending the limitations of language. I noticed how every thought, feeling, and action in our physical existence sends ripples through this interconnected web of consciousness, influencing all of creation. The power of co-creation became apparent to me. We're not just passive observers in a preordained universe. We are active participants, continuously molding our reality with our choices, beliefs, and perceptions. Gradually, I sensed a gentle nudge guiding me back toward a more individualized awareness. Although the overwhelming sense of unity began to fade, a part of me remained tethered to that infinite wellspring of love and wisdom. When I could finally gather my thoughts again, I turned to the archangel who had been my companion throughout this journey, Michael. "That was just incredible," I stammered, searching for the right words. Michael looked at me with warmth and understanding shining in his eyes. "What you experienced, Isolde, is your true nature. It's the essence we all share, divine, infinite, and eternally linked to the source of all existence." I took a moment to absorb these words, letting their truth resonate deeply within me. With a heart brimming with gratitude and a mind expanded by newfound understanding, I felt prepared to embrace whatever lay ahead in my journey. Following that transcendent encounter with the source, I sensed a soft shift in the energy surrounding me. Michael, still close by, spoke compassionately. "Isolde, it's time for you to return to the physical world." A wave of conflicting feelings surged through me. On one side, there was a reluctance to leave this realm of pure light and unconditional love. On the other, a profound awareness that I had a purpose waiting for me. As I prepared for my journey back, I felt a blend of humility and resolve. I was reminded of the web connecting all life, each thread vibrating with the presence of countless souls, including my own. Each encounter, every heart I touched, added to a beautiful pattern that resonated throughout the universe. Don't forget, urged the gentle voice of a guide, what you've felt here is woven into your earthly existence. This is your true self, ever present and always available. Your mission now is to embody this awareness, to bring a sliver of the divine into your daily life through your words, deeds, and creativity. His message resonated deeply, hitting home right in my soul. Every kind gesture, every moment of encouragement, and every authentic expression of love sends ripples out into the cosmos, he continued, almost as if he could hear my innermost thoughts. Feeling a soft tug as I began to return, the brilliant light around me started to dim. I sensed myself moving through layers of consciousness. The sensation of being back in my physical body was at first jarring, like slipping into clothes that were far too snug after a period of floating freely. The tightness in my chest returned too, although it was muted compared to before. Gradually, I blinked open my eyes. The harsh glare of the hospital lights that once felt blinding now appeared gentle and almost surreal. I noticed the silhouettes of doctors and nurses surrounding me. Their expressions shifted from worry to relief. "She's back," someone exclaimed, their words distant but filled with warmth. As reality settled in, a wave of emotions overwhelmed me, and tears began to stream down my face. These weren't tears of fear or sorrow, rather they were tears brimming with gratitude and joy, reflecting my awe at having touched something so beyond what I had ever known. The medical staff misread my emotional outpouring, attempting to console me. "You're okay now, Mrs. Winters. You're safe." I yearned to articulate the depth of my experience, to explain that I wasn't overwhelmed by fear or relief, but rather by a divine love that transformed my perception of everything. Yet words escaped me. How does one convey such a profound shift in understanding? I remember lying in the hospital bed, surrounded by the sounds of medical equipment and the bustling of staff as they monitored my condition. Though still feeling weak and sore, a spark of something vibrant burned within me. I closed my eyes, not with the intention of drifting off, but to tap back into that profound sense of connection I had felt. To my astonishment and joy, I found that echoing presence once more. It felt as if a channel had opened up, letting me bask in that wellspring of love and wisdom while staying grounded in my physical self. In that moment, I made a quiet vow, both to myself and to the universe. I knew I had to embrace this newfound awareness. My art, my words, and my actions would shine with the light I had discovered. Sure, I realized that navigating life after such a transformative experience wouldn't be a walk in the park. The idea of returning to normal felt daunting, but a deep certainty thrummed within me, indicating I would never revert to who I once was. I had undergone a significant shift, and with this change, I felt a sense of purpose arise, alongside an inner strength I had always overlooked. As I lay there, a gentle smile crept onto my face, a smile from someone who had glimpsed the infinite and returned with a story worth telling. It was a knowing smile, one that understood that every struggle, every ounce of joy or sorrow was a piece of a grand, meaningful journey. My heart brimmed with gratitude, and my mind buzzed with divine insight as I braced myself for the next chapter of my life. This new chapter would not be merely ink on paper. Instead, it would be illuminated by the unconditional love I had felt, even beyond the threshold of death. In the weeks after my near-death encounter, everything changed. I felt like I was straddling two different realms. On one side, there was the reality I had always known, complete with its everyday concerns, from healing in the hospital to fretting over medical expenses and how to explain this ordeal to my children. Yet on the other side lay a profound new awareness, a connection to something far greater that constantly reminded me of the truths I had come to understand. At times, merging these two worlds proved difficult. There were moments when doubt crept in, making me question if it had all been nothing more than a vivid dream brought on by a lack of oxygen. After being released from the hospital, the first thing I wanted to do was dive back into my art. But as soon as I picked up my brushes, I sensed a profound difference. The colors danced with vibrancy, each stroke pulsing with meaning. It was as if my entire view of the world had transformed during my recovery. That experience had opened a door to something much larger than myself, a connection to a divine beauty that I could barely describe. I poured my energy into my canvas, eager to capture the light and truth that flooded my heart. My earlier work, which had reflected my struggles and darker moments, now burst forth in brilliant hues. Each painting felt like a meditation, a way for me to reconnect with that divine feeling I had touched upon. In the midst of this creative surge, I found myself drawn to share my journey. I needed to talk about the insights I had gained. So, I made it a point to meditate regularly, keeping that channel to the divine open and flowing. While digging into various spiritual traditions and energy healing methods, I was both amazed and delighted to discover how many of them resonated with what I had lived through. My children, at first a little anxious about the changes they saw in me, soon began to notice a newfound sense of peace and joy radiating from me. Our interactions grew deeper, evolving into meaningful conversations. I wanted them to understand the lessons I'd learned, not by lecturing, but by sharing stories that revealed their own divine nature. As the news of my transformed art and my personal journey spread, I started receiving requests to speak to small groups. Initially, I felt nervous. What gave me the right to discuss such profound topics? But then I recalled the words of Archangel Michael regarding my purpose, and that reminded me to embrace the opportunity. When I began to speak, I found unexpected comfort in my voice, and to my astonishment, my story resonated deeply with many. Tears flowed as I spoke about the unconditional love I had experienced, and some individuals noted a palpable shift in their own energy simply by being near my artwork. Over time, I started to really grasp how I could embrace the calling that had been laid out for me. Art transformed into this incredible medium, allowing me to express the truths of the universe in ways that people could genuinely connect with. Each word I shared became a doorway, inviting others to delve into their inner divinity. Of course, the journey wasn't always smooth sailing. There were moments when the heaviness of the real world felt like too much to bear. I found myself second-guessing my experiences. But during those darker times, I learned to take a moment, closing my eyes, breathing deeply, and tapping back into that endless reservoir of love and wisdom. Bit by bit, stroke by stroke, and conversation after conversation, I started stepping into my true purpose. I wasn't trying to be a guru or some kind of saint. Instead, I was just an everyday person who had brushed against the extraordinary and wanted to share a piece of that light with others. My path of transformation was getting underway, and I welcomed it wholeheartedly, grateful to be a channel for the divine, assisting others in awakening to their authentic selves, one heart at a time. Reflecting on where I am now, since that pivotal night in the hospital, I find myself amazed at how deeply I've transformed. That near-death experience wasn't merely a singular moment. It sparked a profound change in my perspective and the way I approach life. It's been months now, and I still carry with me this unwavering awareness of the unconditional love that fills the universe. This realization shapes how I perceive everything, drawing light even in my most challenging experiences. My art continues to change. It has become an increasingly pure reflection of that divine bond I once felt. Every brushstroke and color choice turns into a kind of prayer, a meditative act, a way to weave that transcendent light into the tangible world. It's been fulfilling to witness how my creations resonate with others, often igniting their own moments of clarity and spiritual awakening. As I conduct my lectures and workshops, the audience keeps growing. I've come to realize that sharing my story and the insights gained along the way is an integral part of my calling. I don't view myself as an authority figure in spirituality. Rather, I see myself as a messenger, someone who has had a taste of the divine and returned to share that extraordinary experience with others. Life has taught me some profound lessons, and one of the most significant is the realization that we each play a role in shaping our realities. Reflecting on my past, I've come to understand how limiting beliefs and fears influenced many of my negative experiences. With this newfound insight, I've committed myself to changing the way I think and feel, and I can genuinely see how this effort is bearing fruit in my daily life. My connection with my children has transformed in ways I could never have predicted. They've picked up on the shifts in me, and it's wonderful to see them embark on their own spiritual journeys. Our conversations are richer now, filled with a sense of unity that leaves me feeling truly grateful. Health-wise, I've seen some significant improvements. Managing my autoimmune condition is still a battle, but my outlook on caring for my body has evolved dramatically. I now view my body as a sacred space, a tangible reflection of my inner spirit. This shift in perspective, along with the energy healing techniques I've adopted, has led to a noticeable reduction in my symptoms. Yet, it's important to acknowledge that not every day is a walk in the park. Challenges and moments of doubt still arise. However, I've equipped myself with strategies that help me regain my center when I feel lost or overwhelmed. Meditation has woven itself into the fabric of my daily routine, allowing me to reconnect with that infinite source of love and wisdom. One of the most eye-opening realizations I've come across is the idea that death is simply a transition. Embracing this notion has alleviated my fears surrounding death, replacing them with a profound appreciation for the miracle of life. Looking back, every hardship, be it my divorce, my financial difficulties, or my illness, has prepared me to face the present with compassion and understanding. These experiences have helped me form deeper connections with others and convey my message in a genuine, impactful way. As I continue on this remarkable journey, I feel incredibly thankful for the transformation I've undergone. I've come to realize that we all have the capacity to awaken to our divine essence and live from a place of unconditional love and interconnectedness. My mission is clear: to serve as a beacon of light for others, using my art, my voice, and my actions to remind them of their own innate divinity. I'm aware that more challenges may come my way, but I embrace the future with optimism. As we wrap up this tale, I feel a wave of anticipation rather than a sense of closure. Each day unfolds a chance to delve deeper into our understanding and embrace life from a place of true connection. Imagine what it would be like to approach everything with an open heart, believing wholeheartedly in the love that flows through everything around us. I want to share this with you, dear listeners. My journey serves as a gentle nudge to help you reconnect with your own divine nature. No matter where you stand in your beliefs or what you've experienced, remember this: you are deeply loved, truly unique, and an invaluable part of the universe. You possess the incredible ability to transform your own life and make a meaningful impact on the world. Always keep in mind that you are not just your body or the circumstances you find yourself in. You are a brilliant being filled with endless light and potential. The power to create, to love, and to change lies within you. Embrace this truth and let your life shine as a true reflection of the divine love you embody. If this heartfelt spiritual journey resonated with you, it would mean so much if you could drop a like, share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell. This way, you won't miss out on any future videos, and together we can spread this uplifting message far and wide. Looking forward to connecting with you again soon.